press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello my dear students. In the previous class we learnt about the different types of changes. See, we have been discussing about the chapter changes around us and we have studied different types of changes. See, natural change and the man-made change. Those changes which is brought about by the nature are called as natural change, and those changes which is brought about by the man are called as man-made change. In short word, natural changes can't be controlled by the man, whereas in man-made changes which can be controlled by the man are called as artificial or the man-made change. Next one is the slow and the fast change. Some of the changes are slow in nature. It takes weeks together, years together, hour together and a minute together. See, like that some of the changes will be slow. For example, milk set into curd, it takes around 3 hours. See, this is the slow change, and some of the changes will be so fast that it is difficult to take the time taken. Example of the breaking of the glass and the bursting of the balloon, these are the examples for the fast changes. And some of the changes which are periodic in nature and which takes place in themselves at a repeated interval of the or regular interval of the time, it repeat themselves. Example for the swing of the motion of the pendulum, this is the example of a periodic change, and the non-periodic change examples are the disaster. See, and one more change we have learnt, desirable change as well as the undesirable change. Some of the changes which are useful to us, where some other are non-useful to us and we never want them to take place, and such changes are called as undesirable change. And the desirable change are those changes which we want them to happen, we want them to take place and which are useful to us. Ripening of the fruit is one of the example of a desirable change, whereas the undesirable change, accidents and the spoiling of the food, this is the example of a undesirable change. In today's class we will learn about the reversible change as well as the irreversible change. Reversible change. The changes which can be reversed are called as reversible change. See, the changes which can be reversed are called as a reversible change. Example are balloon, and also rubber band. See, these are the examples of a reversible change. See, as I told, reversible change can be reversed. Such a change are called as reversible changes. Example is the balloon. See, if we blow the air into the balloon, it will increase its shape and the size, and if we remove the blowing, if we release the air into the balloon, it slowly comes back to the original position. See, this is the one of the example of a reversible change. See here, this is the balloon. It as it remains as its position and the size will not be changed. If we blow the air into the balloon, it will increase its shape and thereby it becomes the inflated one. And if we release the air into the balloon, from the balloon if we remove or release the air into the balloon will come back to the original size or the original position. See, this is one of the example of a reversible change. See, I will show you. See, as I told you, balloon is one of the example of a reversible change where we can reverse the object or the material or the substance, and thereby we get the original substance back. Such a changes are called as reversible change. Example is the balloon. See, balloon, if we take the balloon, the shape of the balloon will be increases nor decreases. As it is, it remains as it is. If we blow the air into the balloon, then the size of a balloon will be increases, and thereby if we release the air from the balloon come back to the original position. See, this is the balloon. See, I fill the air in the balloon, and later if I release the balloon slowly, the air will be escape from the balloon and come back to the original size. It come back to the original size. This is one of the example of a reversible change. And also next one is, as I told, rubber band. See, consider this is the rubber band. It is as it is there. See, if I stretch the rubber band like this, it will the size of the rubber band will be changes, and by its shape will be changed. And if I release the stretching process, it will come back to its original position or original size. Such a changes are called as reversible changes. See, these are the examples of a reversible change. And next one is the irreversible change. See, in other words, the reversible change is the temporary change. See, once again I will tell you, reversible changes are those changes which can be reversed are called as reversible changes. Examples are balloon as well as the rubber band. These are the examples of the reversible change. See, rubber band, if we stretch the rubber band, the size of a rubber band will be increases. See, those changes which can be reversed are called as reversible change, and this is the temporary change where we get the original substance back. See, this is the example of a reversible changes. First one is the balloon as well as the rubber band. If we stretch the rubber band, the position will be move, and if we release by stretching our hand, then it comes back to the original position or original state, and this is one of the example of a reversible change. And the balloon is the another example of a reversible change where if we fill up the air into the balloon becomes inflated, means ubbudu. The size of the balloon will be increases. If we slowly release the air into the balloon, it will come back to the original state or original position. See, this is one of the example of a reversible change. And the next one is the irreversible change. As I told you, reversible changes are those changes which can be reversed, and such changes are called as reversible change. Beside these changes, some of the changes which are temporary in nature and where we can't be reversed, such changes are called as irreversible change. can't be reversed. Such changes are called as irreversible change. See, irreversible changes are the permanent changes. See, example of the irreversible change is burning of paper, food to be cooked. See, these are the examples of the irreversible change. Irreversible changes are those changes which can't be reversed, and these changes are temporary in nature. Example for the irreversible changes are burning of the paper and also food to be cooked. These are the example of the irreversible change. See, as I told, burning of the paper is one of the example of a irreversible change. When we light up the paper, it will start burning, and afterwards the ash is obtained. From the ash we can't we can't go back to the original paper. See, this is one of the example of a irreversible change. And food to be cooked, this is also a irreversible process or irreversible change, where cooked food we can't go back to the original rice. This is one of the example of a irreversible change. See, there is one activity is there which help us to understand the differences between the irreversible change as well as the reversible change. See, I will write this activity here. See, in this activity, materials required are ball of a dough, nothing but the ball of a dough is nothing but unde. Understood? Floor, ball of a dough of a floor is nothing but the unde. Hittina unde. See. See, it will requires the dough and the rolling pipe. It will require. See, in this activity, it illustrates about the differences among the reversible as well as the irreversible changes which are taking place. See, in this activity, what we have to do means, first we take the dough of a floor and divides this dough of a floor into equal parts. See, and roll up these parts to make into a chapati. Like this, you can roll up by using the roller, and so that the ball of a dough will become the chapati circular shape. And one you keep in the first case, this is the first case. In the first case, you have to keep this chapati aside for few hours. See, I will write here. First we take dough, and this dough we have to make into the chapati. See, like that circular shape. By using the roller we can make this dough into the chapati. In the first case, you have to keep this chapati aside for shadow place for around few hours. And the next, in the second case, you have to keep this chapati under the sun. After few hours, you can observe there is a lot of changes will be takes place in both the chapatis. In the first case, the chapati or the roll up circular shaped chapati we keep aside for few hours and we can easily make into a dough. Dough can easily form here, whereas in the second case, the moisture content which are present in the dough or the chapati will evaporate and the chapati will become the dry up one. And so this in the second case we can't make the once again dough. See, this is one of the example of a reversible change as well as the irreversible change. See, this activity shows that in the first case we can be reversed, whereas in the second case it can't be reversed. So that is irreversible change, irreversible change. This one is the reversible change. See, once again I will tell you this activity. See, this activity needs the dough of a flour. See, hittina unde. See, we have to take this dough to make into the equal parts, and afterwards we make this dough into the circular shaped chapati, and later in the first case we keep the chapati aside in the shadow place, so that, and in second case we have to keep this chapati under the sun, and after few hours we can observe there is a changes will be occur. In the first case we can easily make the dough once again, and this one we call it as a reversible change. And in the second case, the moisture content which are present in the chapati will be dry up and so evaporates this water content in the chapati, and later it dough is not formed here, and this one we call it as a irreversible change. See, in this activity we can see both the reversible change as well as the irreversible change by taking the example of a dough where we make into two dough to make a chapati. One we keep aside for a few hours, whereas in the second case we keep the chapati under the sun. In the first case we can easily make once again a dough, whereas in the second case it's the dough is not formed. See, that one is a irreversible change, and in the first case it is a reversible change. This is all about the reversible as well as the irreversible change which are taking place in our day to day life. See, this is all about the today's class. Let's wind up the class here. In next class we will study about some other changes. Thank you.